In the last video, we created our own fork of the decompiler and compiled it ourselves. And now we're actually going to make a change and submit a bug fix. I'm starting out with a very simple bug because I want to focus on the process first, like creating a new Git branch and opening a pull request. And in future videos, we're going to go more in depth on the compiler internals and how to actually make more difficult changes. So this is a Bugzilla issue. Bugzilla is our current bug tracker. There's a plan to migrate to GitHub issues, but for now, this is where issues are filed. This particular issue is about for each statement with the auto keyword. You're not supposed to use the auto keyword in there. It's just you can declare a loop variable and the type will be inferred without it. But if you do accidentally use auto, you get a very cryptic error message, and so we can improve that. So I'm going to switch to my code editor now, and I'm currently on the master branch. So the first thing to do is create a new branch, and here we have to decide whether we're going to target master or stable. The difference between these branches has to do with how DMD releases are scheduled. When something gets merged into master, it will appear in the next minor release. When something gets merged into stable, it will appear sooner in a point release, like 0.1 or 0.2. So the idea is if it's a breaking change or a new feature, it should target master. And when it's a critical bug fix and it should be released as soon as possible, it should target stable. Now, since this is such a minor issue, it doesn't matter that much, but I'm going to target stable, so it's going to be released a bit sooner. I don't think it's going to break anything. It's a very simple error message update. So now I'm on the stable branch, and the first thing you want to do is update your fork to make sure it's up to date and to minimize the chance of merge conflicts. I have already configured the upstream repository as a remote. So you can see what you get when you clone your fork. By default is origin and the address of your fork. But you also want to have an upstream remote pointing to the upstream repository. If you don't have that, you can add it by typing git remote add the name of the remote, upstream in my case, and the link. And yeah, it already exists for me, but for you it might add it. And then you can git pull and then list the remote and the branch, upstream stable, and it will update the upstream changes. So if you've already done this or you've just cloned your fork, it's probably already being up to date. But if not, you'll see some changes and you can branch off the newest stable commit. Now we're going to create a new branch. The name is just whatever's convenient for you. So I'm going to say for each auto message. A bug fix usually contains two components, a change to the compiler source and a test case to test the new behavior. I'm now actually going to start with the test case. So in the compiler folder and test, I'm going to add a fail compilation test, which tests error messages. I'm going to copy the issue number here and then create a new file, call it test, and add the issue number. The skeleton of a test file can be copied from any other issue. So here I'm going to use this one. I'm going to take the code from the bug report, paste it in and put it in a function. Now let's see what happens when we run the test case right now. So I'm going into the compiler source folder and build it just like in the previous video using a debug build. Then go to the test folder and run with the run.d script and also debug build our new test case. And of course it shows, because we just copy pasted from a random other test, that this is not the right output. But we can add the auto update variable and see now it updated the output to the current error message, which is what we want to improve because it's a lot of garbage and not really to the point. Now we're going to fix this in the source code. So in the compiler source DMD folder, I'm going to find the parser, which is parse.d, and I'm going to parse for each And here you can see kind of what parser code looks like using next token and check for the parentheses. And here is where the storage classes are parsed. So you can see it has ref, scope, out, etc. but no auto, which is why the error message is so weird. So I'm going to reuse the logic of the out storage class and use auto and give it a new message, such as cannot declare auto loop variable, omit auto to still get type inference, or something like that. Now let's recompile and update the test again. And look, now it's a way nicer error message. Cannot declare auto loop variable, omit auto to still get type inference. Great, so let's submit a pull request for this. I can use VS Code's Git diff viewer to evaluate my changes. You can commit over here, but I'm going to use the command line to show how you can do it even without this particular editor. Git add all to stage the changes. Then commit and add a message. Now for this message, it's actually currently with Bugzilla important to add fix and then the issue number to the commit message. This way, the Bugzilla issue automatically gets closed when the pull request gets merged. But when we switch to GitHub issues, this won't be necessary anymore. After that, you can just use a descriptive message like usual. Right, so now let's push it. Depending on your Git configuration, it might ask you to run a command to actually connect your local branch with your forks branch. So if it says that, then just run that. But I just get a link to open a pull request, so let's do that. So this is the GitHub interface. As you can see, it includes an unrelated commit. That's because it's currently set to merge into master, but we actually want to merge into stable because we branched off of stable. It also automatically filled in a better title now. And yeah, then you just hit create pull request. And now we filed a pull request. So as you can see, because of the commit message, the DLang bot automatically connected the Bugzilla issue to this bug fix. And even further down, you can see the continuous integration running a lot of checks to see if your new change won't break any of the existing decode out there. And now we're just waiting on the test suite to become green and a reviewer to give a green approval on it. If you need help with anything, you can just leave a comment over here. If a reviewer asks to change something, you can go back to your editor. So let's say we just want to add a bit of a description to the test case. I can go back to the Bugzilla issue and copy the title and paste it over there in a comment and add a link to the issue as well. And now we just have to update the line number. If I think this is not worth a separate commit, I can just git add everything and commit amend it and then force push it. Then on GitHub, it shows I forced push the branch, so it's still just one commit, and the tests will restart. So force pushing in general is also just a way to restart the tests if they spuriously fail. But yeah, that should cover the basics for now. In the next video, I'm going to cover how DMD works internally to help you actually make code changes yourself. Until then, have a nice day.